Welcome back to the United News, your ultimate destination for Manchester United transfer exclusives and breaking news. I'm your host, and today we're diving deep into three absolutely massive stories that could completely reshape our beloved club's future. But before we begin, let me tell you something that will blow your mind. While everyone's been talking about the usual suspects, there are three developments happening right now that even Fabrizio Romano has been tracking closely. These aren't your typical transfer rumors that fade away after a few days. These are game-changing stories with serious implications for United's immediate future and long-term strategy. What if I told you that we're on the verge of potentially solving our striker crisis with a Premier League-proven goal machine? What if I revealed that one of our most expensive signings might finally get the exit he's been desperately seeking, and it could actually benefit everyone involved? And what if I shared that a birthday message for one of our most promising academy graduates has sparked controversy that could change everything? These three stories are interconnected in ways you might not expect, and they're all developing simultaneously as we speak. Fabrizio Romano himself has been dropping hints about internal decisions at Old Trafford, and trust me, when Romano starts making those cryptic comments about internal decisions and clubs making calls to inquire, you know something big is brewing. We're talking about Ollie Watkins and why he could be the striker solution we've been desperately searching for. We're discussing Antony's potential permanent move to Real Betis and how recent player sales might have given them the financial power to make it happen. And we're examining the Alejandro Garnacho situation that has divided our fanbase and could determine whether we're serious about keeping our academy stars or if business comes first. Here's what makes today's episode different from every other transfer channel out there. I'm not just reading you the headlines. I'm breaking down the financial implications, the tactical reasoning, and the human stories behind these potential moves. We're going to explore what Romano calls the smart moves and examine why some deals that seemed certain are now hitting unexpected roadblocks. The transfer window is a chess game, and right now, United are making moves that could determine our success for the next several seasons. Each of these three stories represents a different aspect of our club's evolution. Are we becoming more pragmatic in our approach? Are we learning from past mistakes? Can we balance business needs with fan expectations? So buckle up, United family, because the next 20 minutes are going to be absolutely packed with insider information, exclusive insights, and analysis that you won't find anywhere else. We're going to discuss why Fabrizio Romano recently hinted at transfer collapses, what internal decisions really mean at Old Trafford, and how these three stories could unfold in the coming weeks. This isn't just about transfers. This is about the future identity of Manchester United, and every single decision we make now will echo for years to come. Whether you're Team Watkins, Team Keep Garnacho, or Team Fresh Start for Antony, today's episode will give you everything you need to know about what's really happening behind the scenes at our club. Stay tuned, because we're about to uncover the truth behind the rumors, the strategy behind the decisions, and the real reasons why these three transfer stories could change everything for Manchester United. This is the United News, and this is where you get the inside story first. Manchester United transfer update. Three stories that could change everything. What if I told you that three different players could completely change Manchester United's future in the next few weeks? Well, that's exactly what's happening right now at Old Trafford, and I'm here to break it all down for you. Hey United family, welcome back to the United News. Today we're talking about some massive developments that every single United fan needs to know about. We're looking at a striker who could solve all our attacking problems, a winger who might finally get his fresh start, and a young star whose birthday message has everyone talking. These aren't just random transfer rumors. These are real stories with real consequences that could shape our club for years to come. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's dive into what's really happening behind the scenes at Manchester United. Story 1. Could Ollie Watkins be our new striker hero? Let's start with the big one. Manchester United are seriously looking at signing Aston Villa's Ollie Watkins. Now, you might be thinking, another striker? Really? But hear me out because this one actually makes perfect sense. Why we need Watkins right now? Look, let's be honest about our striker situation. Rasmus Højlund came in with all the hype, but he's been up and down like a yo-yo. One week he looks like the next big thing, the next week he can't buy a goal. That's not entirely his fault, he's young and still learning. But United can't wait around hoping he figures it out. We need someone who can hit the ground running. Someone who already knows the Premier League inside out. Someone who won't need 6 months to settle in while we drop points left and right. That someone could be Ollie Watkins. What makes Watkins special? Here's what you need to know about Watkins. This guy isn't some flashy superstar who posts on Instagram more than he trains. He's a proper grafter who's worked his way up from the lower leagues. He started at Exeter City, moved to Brentford, and then made the jump to Villa. That journey tells you everything about his character. He's hungry, determined, and he knows what it takes to succeed at different levels. But let's talk numbers because that's what really matters. Last season, Watkins scored 17 goals and got 14 assists. Think about that for a second. That's 31 goal contributions from one player. When was the last time we had those kinds of numbers from our striker? The Rashford connection. Now here's where it gets really interesting. There's been talk about a potential swap deal that would send Marcus Rashford to Villa and bring Watkins to us. At first, this sounds crazy. Rashford is one of our own, a player who came through the academy. But let's think about this logically. Rashford has been struggling to find his best form consistently. Maybe a change of scenery would help him rediscover what made him special in the first place. Sometimes players just need a fresh start. For us, getting Watkins would solve our striker problem immediately. No waiting period, no questions about whether he can handle the pressure. He's already proven himself week after week in the Premier League. The only problem? Rashford apparently wants to join Barcelona instead. That Spanish dream might have killed the swap deal idea, at least for now. But in football, things change quickly. Can we actually afford him? Villa reportedly wants around £40 million for Watkins. In today's market, that's actually pretty reasonable for a proven Premier League striker. Compare that to what we've spent on some of our recent signings, and it starts to look like good value. The question isn't whether we have the money. We do. The question is whether we're willing to spend it on him or if we want to spread our budget across multiple positions. Reports suggest we're looking at other targets too, like Brian Mbeumo from Brentford. That makes sense from a planning perspective. Always good to have backup options in case the first choice doesn't work out. What this means for our attack. Imagine our attack with Watkins leading the line. His work rate would fit perfectly with what Ten Hag wants. His pressing from the front would help our entire defensive structure. His pace would give us a different dimension, especially on the counterattack. But it's not just about what he brings individually. His presence would lift the entire team. Other players would have more confidence knowing they have a reliable finisher to aim for. The midfielders would be more willing to take risks knowing Watkins can make something happen from half chances. His Premier League experience cannot be overstated. Too many times, we've signed players who needed months to adapt to English football. With Watkins, there would be no learning curve. Story 2. Antony's Spanish dream might become reality. Now let's talk about Antony. Remember when he joined us for around €95 million? Yeah, that didn't work out as planned. But his story might finally have a happy ending. The loan that changed everything. Antony spent the second half of last season on loan at Real Betis in Spain. And you know what? He was actually pretty good. 9 goals in 26 appearances might not sound incredible, but for a player who had been struggling for confidence, it was exactly what he needed. More importantly, he looked happy again. His dribbling was sharp, his decision-making improved, and he started showing the qualities that made us sign him in the first place. Betis fans loved him, and the feeling seemed mutual. Can Betis actually buy him? Here's the big question. Real Betis isn't exactly known for splashing huge amounts of cash. They're a well-run club, but they don't have Premier League money. So when rumors started about them wanting to sign Antony permanently, everyone wondered how they could afford it. We paid around €95 million for Antony, but we all know we won't get anywhere near that back. His value has dropped significantly. Reports suggest we might accept around €30 to €40 million, which is still a lot for Betis. But here's where it gets interesting. Betis has been busy selling players. They sold Johnny Cardoso to Atletico Madrid for around €30 million. Jesus Rodriguez is reportedly moving to Como for about 19 million euros. Suddenly, they have around 45 to 50 million euros in the bank. Why this makes sense for everyone? From our perspective, selling Antony makes perfect sense. The transfer clearly didn't work out as planned, and keeping an unhappy player doesn't help anyone. We need to balance our books, and player sales are crucial for that. Antony has been professional throughout his difficult time here. He hasn't caused problems or spoken badly about the club. When a player handles a tough situation with class, clubs often try to help them find a solution. For Antony, a permanent move to Betis represents his best chance of getting his career back on track. La Liga suits his style much better than the Premier League. The technical nature of Spanish football allows him to showcase his skills, while the slower pace gives him more time to make decisions. What happens next? Reports suggest Betis is preparing to make a formal offer. These negotiations will focus on the transfer fee, payment structure, and any additional clauses. We'll want to maximize our return, while Betis will try to get the best possible deal. It might not be straightforward, but there's a deal to be done here. Everyone wins. Antony gets to play where he's happy, Betis gets a player who fits their system, and we get to move on and reinvest the money elsewhere. Story 3. Is Garnacho's birthday message actually a goodbye? Now for the most emotional story of all. Today is Alejandro Garnacho's 21st birthday, and our social media team posted a simple Feliz Cumpleaños message. Sweet gesture, right? Well, maybe not. The academy star who might be leaving. Garnacho represents everything we want from our academy. He came through the ranks, caught everyone's attention with his skill and pace, and quickly became a first-team regular. In 144 appearances, he's shown flashes of brilliance that had fans dreaming of the future. But sometimes things don't work out as planned. Despite scoring 11 goals and getting 11 assists in 58 games last season, Garnacho found himself on the bench for a crucial Europa League final. When he came on in the 71st minute, his frustration was clear for everyone to see. What went wrong with Amorim? The relationship between a player and manager is crucial. When Ruben Amorim arrived, he brought his own ideas about how football should be played. His preferred 3-4-2-1 formation doesn't really suit traditional wingers like Garnacho. But it wasn't just tactical differences. Garnacho publicly questioned being left out of big games, and managers don't like players who speak out publicly. The relationship between them seems to have broken down completely. The Ibiza incident. Remember when pictures surfaced of Garnacho wearing an Aston Villa shirt during his summer vacation? The shirt had Rashford 9 on the back, and fans were divided about what it meant. Some laughed it off as innocent fun. Others saw it as disrespectful to the club that made him a star. The timing couldn't have been worse, with transfer rumors already swirling and his relationship with Amorim in doubt. Where could he go? Chelsea and Aston Villa are reportedly interested in Garnacho. Both clubs could offer him regular first-team football, which is what he needs at this stage of his career. The interesting thing is that he wants to stay in the Premier League, suggesting he believes he can still make it at the highest level. But why haven't any formal bids come in yet? Are clubs waiting for us to lower our asking price? Or are they concerned about his recent controversies? What this means for United? Losing Garnacho would be a big blow, but maybe not for the obvious reasons. Yes, he's talented, but more importantly, he represents the connection between our academy and first team. Academy graduates give fans hope and show that we still believe in developing young talent. But football is also a business. If Amorim truly believes Garnacho doesn't fit his system, keeping an unhappy player might do more harm than good. The fan perspective. Talk to any United fan, and you'll get different opinions about Garnacho. Some think we should fight to keep him. Others believe that if a player doesn't want to be there, it's better to sell and move on. The birthday message has been seen by some as the club trying to smooth things over. But is it too little, too late? Social media reactions have been mixed, with some appreciating the gesture while others see it as empty PR. What happens next? So where does this leave us? We're potentially looking at 3 major moves that could reshape our squad. Watkins coming in would solve our striker problems. Antony leaving would free up funds and wages for other signings. Garnacho departing would be sad but might be necessary if the relationship with Amorim can't be repaired. The next few weeks will be crucial. Pre-season is when managers really get to work with their squads, and these transfer decisions need to be made quickly. Players need time to settle in, and uncertainty helps nobody. The bigger picture. These three stories all connect to bigger questions about our club. What's our philosophy? Are we committed to youth development? Can we compete in the modern transfer market? The Watkins pursuit shows ambition and pragmatism. We're going after proven quality rather than taking risks on potential. The Antony situation shows we're learning from expensive mistakes and trying to find solutions that work for everyone. The Garnacho drama reveals the challenges of managing talented young players in today's football environment. The bottom line: football moves fast and things can change quickly. But right now, these three stories are defining our summer. Each one will have consequences that go far beyond just adding or removing players from the squad. Watkins could be the striker we've been waiting for. Antony could get the fresh start his career needs. Garnacho might need to find happiness elsewhere. These aren't just transfers, they're stories about dreams, second chances, and difficult decisions. As United fans, all we can do is hope that whatever happens next is best for our club. We want to see players who are happy to be here, who fit the manager's system, and who can help us get back to where we belong. The transfer window is far from over, and these stories are still being written. But one thing is certain: the decisions made in the coming weeks will shape our club for years to come. Whether that's for better or worse remains to be seen. Keep watching this space because in football, you never know what's going to happen next. And trust me, with these three stories developing, there's plenty more drama to come. That's your update from the United News. What do you think about these developments? Should we go all out for Watkins? Is letting Antony go the right move? And what about Garnacho? Is this really the end of the road? Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep the faith, United family. Better days are coming.